James, obviously we've had 2 bad results now. What do you think Jose Mourinho needs to start doing, to start turning things around?
Well, he obviously needs to work on his back four. You know, that's 6 goals in 2 games. You know, that's just not good enough. You know, you do that, you're going to lose games of football. Too big a mountain to climb, really. So certainly needs to get a settled back four. You know, there's a lot of changes going on at the moment, and I'm not sure he knows his best four. One thing that's happened tonight, I think Luke Shaw has probably stamped his place down as left back now. I thought he was very, very good tonight.
What do you make of the Paul Pogba situation? How do you think he played tonight, and how do you think that gets settled? Because it still seems to be sort of hanging in the air a little bit.
A little bit. I think I'm a huge Paul Pogba fan, and I think he's got fantastic ability. I think Paul Pogba will benefit from a settled side. You know, at the moment it's not a settled side. There's a lot of changes. Sanchez isn't out the side. The midfield is being rotated a lot. I think Paul Pogba is one of those that if you get a settled back four, you get a settled maybe person to play alongside him, you get the front three sorted. I think Pogba then can go along and do his little bits and pieces and maybe not be frightened to make a mistake. But at the moment, his performance is just not consistent enough.
One of my worries as a United fan is that the players aren't going to play for the manager. Do you see any of that? Do you see the players sort of down in tools, or do you think it's just a case of individual errors and maybe, you know, things not going our way?
Well, I did see it at Brighton second half. I saw players not playing for the manager, which worried me. But he's turned that around tonight, to be fair to him. I thought tonight they did. And the first half, you know, up until the first goal, they were excellent. You know, the second goal is a knockout blow, you know, because United responded well for the first goal, but it's just more really, really poor defending that, you know, it's almost similar to the David Moyes era where we sort of saw the end of Rio and Vidic, you know, making mistakes that you just never see them make. And that's what I saw with United, you know, mistakes that you just cannot make in games, you know, top games against, you know, rival sides.
We know that Jose wanted another centre-back during the summer, he didn't get one. Do you think United have the players to turn this around? United have the players to get that settled back four and a strong back four that you talked about?
I don't think they have the players to turn it around, but they've got players there that can play in a back four, and maybe, you know, maybe Jose's got to hold his hands up and allow 1 or 2 players mistakes with the fear of not being dropped. You know, every player makes mistakes. Doesn't matter who you are. Have United got the squad? And no, I don't think they have. I think technically they're not good enough.
When I was sat in J stand tonight, it seemed that when Spurs fans were giving Jose a bit of stick, it seemed like half the fans were sort of with him, backing him, singing Jose Mourinho. Yeah. The other half were a bit indifferent. What's your sort of, how do you feel it's going for Jose in terms of the way the fans are with him at the minute?
Well, I think he's got the fans behind him. At other clubs, he probably wouldn't have that. You know, at big clubs as well. You know, from my time watching United were good with Moyes, they were good with Louis van Gaal. That they will stick with the manager, but you know, it's all about results. What you have to ask yourself is, I can't see how another manager can come in and change it. I just can't. I think it's a long, slow process to get back to where they want to be.
You mentioned about a settled team and a settled team around Paul Pogba. How much do you think that matters going forward as well in sort of the attack-wise? Because we've seen the attackers chopped and changed. Do you think that needs to be settled, or do you think rotation is the way to go forward?
No, I don't. I think, look, every team rotates. United have always rotated, for years now. I don't think it's rotation. I think Mourinho literally, you know, players are just inconsistent. You know, Alexis Sanchez has had no consistency whatsoever. You know, I'm a huge Anthony Martial fan. I know he gets criticised, but he should be in at least on the bench, Martial. So it's, you know, it's players. You know, we've got to get more out of Rashford at the moment. I know he didn't play tonight, but you know, these players have got to do it themselves. You know, marking from corners and defending like that's nothing to do with the manager.
And just finally, Burnley up next. How big a game do you think that could be in terms of just getting a bit of positivity after so much, well, 2 poor results and sort of the negativity that's around United at the minute?
Well, it's huge, and looking at Mourinho's press conference tonight, you know, the world, and it's going to rumble on for days. So the only way to answer your critics is winning games of football, and that's from a manager, a team, and personally players as well.